So we are going to be doing some Botox for my lovely patient today, and we're going to ask you a few questions. So go ahead, you can turn the camera. All right, so Avi,
Okay.
you've been doing Botox for how many years?
I've been doing it for maybe 11
Okay.
years.
Uh-huh.
I started
what,
later than most
so
people.
tell me what made you start. What was the thing that you would say, oh, I definitely need
I
Botox?
think it was probably in here and here, because I think when I first started, so I was 39, which is late for most people today.
Okay.
I didn't do this because
Right.
this still didn't bother me. So it was really just here and here. I just didn't like the lines. And then eventually I started adding in the forehead, but not too much.
Right. And you noticed it in the mirror, or it was a picture or a selfie that somebody took?
Probably a mirror. I feel like in pictures you don't notice as much as the mirror.
Okay.
And I just like how it does
Right.
make you look more
Yeah.
refreshed.
So if you had to give advice to anybody who's starting Botox or about the age when they might be starting Botox, like what would it be? What would you tell them?
I mean, I do,
Knowing
I
like
do,
everything you know
I
now.
do think girls start a little too young these days, when maybe if they just took better care of their skin and maybe used like a retinol, they
I think
could
this is
hold off
true.
till later. Because yeah, the
Yes.
truth is in my younger 20s, I did have some lines here from like a face I would make, and then I started using retinol, and it actually just took the lines away,
Right.
which I think allowed me to start Botox a lot later.
Right, right.
You know, so
Yeah.
I do think girls
Yeah.
are starting way
Most
too
most
young.
most people don't know that. They jump straight to Botox.
Yeah,
There's
retinol
definitely a way
really,
to.
especially younger, like older now, retinol's too strong for me, to be honest now, so I use like a retinol that's not prescription, but I do think girls are starting too young.
Yeah.
In my
Okay.
opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. Definitely, there are things you can do before
Right.
you go
Right.
to Botox.
Right.
Now, let me ask you, what was your best moment in those like 11 years with Botox? What was like you did it and you're just like, oh, I'm so glad I'm doing it.
I mean, the truth is that many times I come in and I'm like, oh, it's not so bad. It's not that bad, because I do like to look natural. So
Right.
I think it's not that bad. But then 3 or 4 days, once the Botox has set in, I'm like, wow, this looks so much better, and I'm
Right.
so glad I did it. So it just gives you a very refreshed look that maybe you don't realize it's as bad as it is. You know?
Right,
And then
right.
once you do
Yeah.
it and it sets in, and you're like, okay, this is good. This is a good choice.
Yeah. Now, I know the answer to it, but
Okay.
tell people who's watching this, what was your biggest mishap with Botox?
My biggest mishap was, I think it was maybe something was pulling down here, and I think I did Botox here. Was that correct?
In the chin?
In the
Yeah,
chin, right?
right.
So to stop it from pulling.
Right.
But instead, what happened was I couldn't smile, and I had a lisp. I couldn't say certain words.
Okay.
And I met this new neighbor in the building, and I was talking to her, and I'm like, oh, I'm in 4C. Like, I couldn't talk. And I was like, I didn't want to tell. I just met her, so I didn't want to be like, oh, I had bad Botox.
Right, right.
I was so embarrassed, and I was like, oh my God, she probably just think I'm crazy or something. But then eventually, luckily, after like a couple months, it wore off, and now I learned like I'm not a candidate
Not
for
putting
that, no.
Botox there right
But
now.
that was my
Right.
only mishap
Yeah,
I've ever
okay.
had. Yes.
All right, very
But
good.
that was a funny
Thank
one.
you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing it. Okay, very